Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today, I'll be making my Carowinds coaster rankings prediction. This is going to be my first new park I'm going to this year, and I'm very excited for it. This park has the most coasters of any park on this trip, but what are my predictions on how they stack up? Well, let's get into the list. At the number 14 spot, we have Kitty Hawk, the park's Vekoma suspended family coaster. This coaster looks flat out horrid. It looks like a boring family version of an SLC, but with much harder restraints. I asked Vekoma, why did you have to put rock solid over the shoulder restraints on this family coaster? I've ridden Dragonflyer at Dollywood, and it's a very fun, smooth family coaster with very comfortable lap bars. I asked Carowinds, either please remove this coaster or put some new restraints on it. Even with new restraints, this ride still has a much inferior layout to Dragonflyer at Dollywood. Either way, I'm really not looking forward to this ride. At the number 13 spot, we have Ricochet, the park's Mock Rides Wild Mouse coaster. In my King's Dominion rankings, I said that Apple Zapple looked like a pretty bad ride. However, this Wild Mouse looks far worse. It has an inferior layout and has the metal T-bars that look horrible. Plus, this ride looks quite boring. It reminds me a lot of Twist and Shout at Family Kingdom because it looks boring and painful at the same time. At the number 12 spot, we have Woodstock Express, the park's PTC Junior wooden coaster. I've already ridden a clone of this at Kings Island, and I've already talked about this ride in my King's Dominion rankings prediction. So really all I have to say is that these PTC Junior wooden coasters are fun, smooth, unique family coasters that everyone in the family will enjoy. At the number 11 spot, we have Wilderness Run, the park's E&F Myler kiddie coaster. You may be wondering, why is a kiddie coaster so high? Well, these E&F Myler kiddie coasters aren't like other kiddie coasters. They're actually really fun rides that have some janky airtime, and they're just a lot of fun. E&F Myler takes the cake for most fun kiddie coasters, in my opinion. This looks like a fun ride. At the number 10 spot, we have Flying Cobras, the park's Vekoma Boomerang coaster. Now, I'm a fan of these standard Vekoma Boomerangs after riding one at Six Flags St. Louis and Tidal Wave at Trimper Rides. So why is this coaster so low? Well, I'm not really a fan of vest restraints at all. I know some people like these Vekoma vests, but I really don't. Blue Hawk at Six Flags Over Georgia sucks, and that's partly because of the restraints. They're just tight and uncomfortable. However, this ride still looks pretty mediocre at best. I like the layouts of these standard boomerangs, and this ride still looks very intense, but it does look uncomfortable. At the number 9 spot, we have Carolina Gold Rusher, the park's Aerodynamics Mine Train coaster. I'm actually a fan of these classic Aero mine trains. I think they're fun classic rides. This one looks especially fun. This is a coaster that everyone in the family should enjoy. At the number 8 spot, we have Hurler, the park's International Coasters Inc. wooden coaster. This coaster looks pretty decent. It reminds me a lot of Thunder Run at Kentucky Kingdom, but with worse pacing. I've heard this ride is pretty boring, but to me, it looks pretty fun. At the number 7 spot, we have Vortex, the park's B&M stand-up coaster. People love to beat the crap out of these B&M stand-ups. After my first ride on Georgia Scorcher at Six Flags Over Georgia, it was one of my most hated coasters. However, there's a special technique to ride these, and the way that you would enjoy them is the exact opposite of what's intended, and you have to sit down on the bicycle seat thing. It defeats the purpose of the ride, but it does make the ride fun. Vortex at Carowinds, if you stand up, would probably not even make the top 10 of this park. But if you do the sit-down technique, which I'm gonna do, these stand-ups are pretty good, intense rides. At the number 6 spot, we have Carolina Cyclone, the park's Aerodynamics Custom Looping Coaster. I really like these classic Aerodynamics custom loopers. I think they're good rides. This one looks like a pretty average one. It has a very simple but effective layout. Anyways, this looks like a good ride with some good hang time, and the first drop looks to give good airtime. At the number 5 spot, we have Intimidator, the park's B&M Hypercoaster. This ride looks like a good ride. The trims are the only thing most people talk about this ride, but I've heard if you sit in the front, the trims aren't as noticeable. Even with the trims, this still looks like a good ride. The first drop looks a lot like Diamondback's awesome drop, and the ride just looks fun throughout. It doesn't look all that thrilling, but it still looks very fun. At the number 4 spot, we have Nighthawk, the park's Vekoma Flying Dutchman coaster. Before riding one of these Flying Dutchmans, I thought this ride looked very bad. However, after riding Batwing at Six Flags America and that coaster making my top 30, I take back what I said about these Flying Dutchmans. This coaster does look rough, but these Vekoma Flying Dutchmans are so intense to the point where some roughness doesn't bother me. This ride looks absolutely awesome, and I'm very excited to ride it. At the number 3 spot, we have Copperhead Strike, the park's Mock Rides multi-launch coaster. This ride looks awesome. It looks like it has some absolutely awesome hang time on the JoJo roll and the vertical loop, and the air time looks absolutely awesome. I'm really excited to ride this absolutely awesome, fun-looking multi-launch coaster. At the number 2 spot, we have Fury 325, the park's B&M Hyper Giga Coaster. This coaster looks absolutely legendary. It looks intense, it looks to give good airtime, and it just looks like a very complete ride. I don't have much to say other than what everyone says about this ride. Several people put this number 1 in the park, but there's one other coaster that I think looks better. That coaster is Afterburn, the park's B&M Invert. This may or may not surprise a lot of people that I have this at number 1. I love B&M Invert so much, and this one looks like the best one in the US. It looks like a Batman clone on steroids. It looks so compact, so whippy, and so insanely intense. The Batwing looks especially epic. I can't wait to ride this coaster, and I'm just super thrilled to be able to go to Carowinds and ride it. And there you have it, my Carowinds coaster rankings prediction. It should be obvious that this list isn't final because I haven't ridden any of these coasters. This is the largest park on my trip and one of my most anticipated on the trip. This park looks incredible and their coaster lineup also looks incredible. Anyways, thanks for watching. Inverted Thrills, out.